I'm running into this issue here. Let me show you. All right. So visual person. So say you have your goal over here and then you have yourself. So we'll just put me over here. As a skilled individual, there are so many different ways to get to this goal because you can do all sorts of things. Say it's workout videos. Say it's healthcare, say it's corporate work. You have so many different options. You can do, we'll just say even retainers built on trust. And then you have events maybe over here. So you have so many different options to get to the same goal. So often a lot of times what I see myself doing, and especially when it comes to my time, I'll put a little bit into the workout outreach, put a little bit into healthcare, put a little bit of corporate, put a little bit of retainer, put a little bit of events, and then it just kind of goes this ongoing little cycle where you're doing a little bit in the each. Maybe one day you feel a little bit more motivated on two of them and you just kind of forget the other ones. Maybe you're just driven with workout some days, so it just feels a little bit further, but maybe this path is a little bit harder to get to the goal. Count these as kind of days. So you only have 365 days in a year to be doing outreach, to be doing this. We all have the same amount of time. So what I'm going to start doing now is focusing more on just a certain number of these when it comes in terms to outreach. And I'm going to limit it just to 2, and then you get to your goal a lot faster. Obviously, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but I think it's cool to look at it visually because as videographers, a lot of times what I see is we're spreading our outreach thin. Working out videos, it's client testimonial videos, it's the coffee shop videos, it's XYZ videos, but really in terms of outreach, you need to focus on your core clientele. And everybody says to niche up. This is my thoughts on niche. Oh, let me grab a new piece of paper. All right, so my thoughts on niche. So we have niche here. So a lot of times when people are talking about niche, they talk about doing a specific industry, the automobile, the service industry when it comes to like restaurants or something else, hospital industry, gaming industry. I think that's fine, but I do think it limits you because at the end of the day, you're not trying to figure out a certain industry. You're trying to figure out a certain client type. And I think that's the important part that people miss is the client type. So client type is anything with, for me, it's trust businesses, it's expert-led businesses, it's healthcare. So healthcare kind of moves into client type. They are heavy trust. You have certain corporate businesses that are also heavy trust. They're also expert-led. So you're able to focus on a certain type of product to sell versus an industry. And if you would ask people which one of these two are better, it's you want to sell a different product. So your product, because all we're doing at the end of the day is solving, hopefully you can see it, problems. That's the big thing. So if you can do a certain client type that has a certain problem, such as trust and expert led, it doesn't really matter the industry. It matters more the client type. Obviously, when you're talking about marketing, you're trying to make sure you have a singular message towards. So it's more focused on the problem that your product has for your ideal client type versus just that niche industry. So if you take example like a gaming industry like esports, since I watch a lot of Jared's stuff, they have events, they have promotional videos, they have all these different things because a business, if you think about it for like yourself as a business owner, here, let me just change this up. So if you think about yourself in terms as a business owner, you have your marketing hat, you have your customer service hat, you have your finance hat, you have your admin hat, you have your videographer hat, you have your business operator hat, you have so many of these different hats that you wear. So each business has a lot of different facets to it. So if you could pick businesses that really focus heavily on something, whether that's you love to do events, so you focus on event heavy businesses and you do event heavy type of videos for them, you do event heavy type of marketing for them. You don't worry about everything else that they do. If that comes up and you get that, that's great, but you're not spending that time doing the outreach for them. So what I'm trying to say here really is I'm going to focus my time better on the certain client types when it comes to outreach. So I'm picking 2 different types of dream clients, building a list around them of those dream clients that I want to work with, and then building that outreach schedule and the systems that are going to be in place so that way I can easily track it. Because I'm a solo operator, I only have a certain amount of time to do certain things outside of the shooting, outside of all the business stuff. So I really need to make sure that that is focused in the right direction. Hopefully that helps you guys. That's what we're going to build this week. Building stuff sucks. I don't know about you guys, but this is my least favorite part of the job. Building out a system to track everything. So essentially what it is the client's name, the category of business that they are in. So instead of doing a specific niche, we're doing a specific clientele type. So putting in a specific category so it can run different things for them in the future. It's going contact name, type that the contact specifically is, whether they're the marketing director, the HR director, the administration assistant, whoever I can find. And if you're a business, put that stuff on your website because it helps people help you. So hard sometimes. It's taking a lot of time. The status, what they are. So I have it broken down into a couple different things. If I'm researching them, if I have an idea ready for them, if I've contacted them, if I had the first follow-up, the second follow-up, if I booked a call, if I've sent a proposal, and they close one and close lost based on that. I think it's important to put the closed lost ones on there and to keep them on there versus just taking them off, because then you can run different campaigns to those closed lost ones to like rekindle the fire, hopefully, or however you guys say. Date contacted, last follow-up date, next action date. So that's going to be my true north of my calendar basically on when I plan to follow up with them. So I know every day now I can jump into this and then filter by today's date and see what I got going on for the day in terms of my outreach lead system. My outreach method, how I've contacted them, email, text, call, in person, whatever it is. The key idea that I have for them. So I want to make sure that I'm leading with that key indicator on what I would like to be done with it. Any generalized notes, the deal size estimate, and then close one value. So I can kind of track that as well. And then contacts, email, and then phone number. I kind of put that at the end so it doesn't dilute everything. But going through right now, building out everything here for each of them, I'm trying to do it in segments of 5. Looks like we just got an Amazon package delivered. Don't think it's for me though. But I'm trying to do it in segments of 5. So I can do 5 businesses at a time, reach out to all 5 that day, and then put the schedule for the follow-up like that next time whenever I'm going to follow up with them. And then I'll do another 5. That way I don't get burned out doing this incredibly all of them, because there's over 66 businesses right now that I have listed on this thing that I know are going to be potential opportunities based on my client type. So trying to focus on them and trying to get in a good system with it early and often. And then you get distracted when you do stuff. And I'd love to hear from you guys. I've been seeing a lot of the Hollyland Lark M2S minis. So it's like those little ones that have those very small microphones that just easily goes on, just doop. It's a little wireless mic. I've been seeing a lot more of those used in different videos. And I've been seeing them on some professional sets when it comes to like the work that I do. I call it professional, but type of business sets that you can just easily clip it onto somebody. It's not clunky. You don't have to run the lavalier mic to make sure it's hidden. It's not the big block that you have. I'm seeing a lot of them. And right now, Amazon has their spring sale. So they're actually on sale right now. Don't know. Have you guys used them? I'm sure the spring sale is going to end by the time that this video sees. So I'll either showcase them in the next video or I will not showcase them. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. And if you're interested too, stay tuned because I'm leaning towards getting them just for the simplicity of it and then the frictionlessness of it. You can just easily click them on versus taking out my big Rode wireless mics each time and playing around with it. We'll see. Done. Those are 5 people. We're going to do something productive now. We're going to go to the gym, get a run in. I think it's 50-minute run today. So there we go. Kids dropped off at daycare. Let the day begin. I'm exhausted today. I've been training for a marathon, full marathon. Never ran a half marathon, never ran a full marathon. Training for that. We're 5 weeks out. And it's ramping up to say the least. So Sunday's workout, it was gauntlet, but I ended up burning, I think it was like 1,200 calories and then 1,000 active calories during it. And then it follows up with a 15-minute run today. So I'm a little exhausted to say the least part. So I got to get up and moving. I have an idea for a reel, kind of about this situation. So I'm gonna play the reel now, and you guys let me know what you think. So that was a reel. I think it's a good just reminder for people. You don't have to be the most talented person. You just have to be good at never giving up. So that's what we're doing today. We got a handful of meetings. So we got one coming up here in 20 minutes. It's going to be a Zoom call meeting. So I got to get that prep, get my environment and everything prepped up in the back too, to make sure everything's looking good there. Let me know, do you guys use external cameras such as like your camera or just like a webcam for some of these meetings? Or are you just using the camera on like your MacBook or like your laptops? Be really interested to know. So I've seen some other people having webcams now. So I'm curious if other people are using them too that do video, or if they're just saying, hey, people understand. Then I have back-to-back meetings. One is with a moving company looking to improve some processes with video. And then another one is with a gentleman. We were all at a meeting and he asked the question, hey, I have a general question for you guys. How do you guys feel about video with social media? As I'm sitting right next to him. It's crazy when people ask those kind of questions and you're just like, are you asking to get hit? Or whatever. So I got a meeting with him to explain the benefits of using video and social media and how much easier it is to connect with people, but using it as a tool and not like the end all be all. So we'll see what comes from that. And then we got a pack in charge for tomorrow's shoot, which is a hype workout video for Miss Lincoln. I'm gonna try to do some BTS for that. So that one should be a fun one.
Look at the uniform.
Hold on, buddy. Shh. Decided to get him, so we're gonna see how this works. I'm gonna bring him to tomorrow's shoot and try to do a little testimonial with it. We'll see. Just got back from the shoot, ready to go run. Great video. It was a workout hype video for Miss Lincoln, for like the Miss USA type pageant type things. She needed a video that makes her look badass in the fitness type world. So it was a combination of wall balls, rowing, deadlifts, just like all around. I was able to capture some good BTS with the GoPro, using these little hawk mount things we talked about before to easily clip it on there. I ran into two issues though. So first issue, I have this Aputure MC Pro, lovely light, big environment where we're trying to emulate a little bit of sunlight just to have that little golden tint on her. It worked, but it just wasn't the best. It wasn't the strongest. So I'm really looking for something that is portable, that has a battery to it, that can easily be moved, but most importantly, easily pack. I love to be able to just keep them in one suitcase. Second issue, which I think you should all do after you film. After you film with somebody, get a testimonial. So after we got done filming with her, I got a testimonial. I had to use the shotgun mic that we were capturing all of the ambience noises and the slamming of the ropes, the slamming of the ball, like the heavy breathing. I had to use that as the microphone to capture, because got these the Hollyland MC or MS2, like the little bitty ones. I plugged into my camera thinking, yeah, you just plug it in, it's good to go. Yeah, I have no idea how to use these. So do that first. I got them, we charged them, and then I had to go. So lesson learned, gonna be playing around with these today to get them to work. Last point that I wanna have is external monitors are great, and especially when you're shooting on anamorphic lenses, which I was able to shoot the whole thing on this 50mm T1.8 series, 1.33. It's the autofocused anamorphic lens, which is great, super lovely. I'm not incredibly comfortable with manual focus, especially with moving shots. I know how to just pull focus on the one subject at one spot, and then if I have to move somewhere else, I can't follow focus yet. It's nothing that I've really trained around with. This thankfully does have a hard stop, so it should be easier to learn. But my Sony doesn't have internal squeeze. This Nikon doesn't have internal squeeze in it. So having a monitor that has internal squeeze so you can fully see the image, I think is great. And if you put that LUT of what it's going to look like on top of that footage in your monitor, so that way you can show the client stuff, I think it's super huge. And I get compliments all the time, especially when you're gonna ask for a review or a testimonial right after where you haven't delivered the product. They get to base you off of your shooting what you were like, your personality, and then what you showed them in footage. So if you're showing them footage of cool moments, that's what they're going to remember, and that's what they're going to really focus on. So it's a perfect time to capture it because it's in the moment. You're not trying to chase somebody around. So I highly encourage a monitor for that exact reason, so you can show them cut stuff that is semi-color graded in the way, plus it has D-squeeze. And this was perfect for it. I thought I never shoot at 50 millimeters. I typically float around 35 for a lot of my stuff. And then I'll go tight if I want like some really close like depth of field. So I never pulled out this lens. And I'm really, really mad that I haven't, because this thing is a freaking beast. I love it. I'll show some of the footage once I get done with some of it. And I'll show some of the sneak peeks, but it's good. Smirk.
Done.
Come up, pause there. Eyes. Not the light that I wanted to do. I want to talk about the importance of a good partner or somebody to lean on. So I got greeted with this little thing. It says, "Happy Friday, kick some ass today. I love you." And it was a little heart, but it was right on the keyboard. So I don't know what it is about little notes that are strategically placed places or just scattered places. But my wife does an amazing job at them for showcasing that she cares and that she loves me and the motivation. So like I love getting stuff like this. I don't like when she uses my paper for it, but I love the fact that she does that. So great work. Now we got some updating to do because it is Friday, and I think the last time I checked in it was Tuesday. I'm gonna try to hold this thing still. I don't know, well, this is gonna work. We're gonna try. So a couple updates. We had a one-to-one with somebody yesterday that runs a marketing agency, and we took them golfing. So I think golfing or doing an activity is a perfect way to get to know somebody a little bit better. Obviously, if you're not a very calm golfer, yeah, it's not working, it's moving too much. I'll try it again. So obviously, if you're not a good golfer, you're not calm during the situation, don't showcase your worst personality out there. Just don't. It doesn't make sense. But that was a good relationship because they are really looking to get into the same type of client that I am looking to get into. And they do the SEO, they do the digital marketing, they do the ad spend, they do the website, they do that factor of the marketing, where I would do the creative side of it. So they said they have gone with other video people before and they've just haven't had very good experience, or the reliability wasn't there. So now I'm working on building that relationship with them so that way they pick me in the future. So I think that's overall going to be great. I'm going to have her on Mulligan Mic because she's doing amazing things with their company. Met with another person yesterday that owns a coffee shop. That was a really good meeting. I don't know if I'll do much work for them, but I think what came out of it is they invited me to a little networking thing that they do on next Wednesday or next Thursday. So I'm going to be able to go to that, have some conversations with the rest of the people there. And he seems like he's somebody that is well enough connected to get other doors open. So it's building relationships, sharing your expertise, sharing advice on like, what would you do if you were in their shoes type of situation. The reason I think it really went great versus a good meeting is internally asking and doing it with intention. So internally asking, what I mean by that is you're asking for something for you. Like internally, you have an ask that you're just like, okay, I had to get this out of the meeting. Maybe it's a contract that you're trying to get out of the meeting or a bid or something like that. For a lot of meetings, I will go look at it, build a relationship first, see if there's an opportunity to work together. If there's not really a clear opportunity to work together, I'm not going to push it. His situation, there wasn't really a clear opportunity, so I didn't push it. It's the education piece of how then I can help outside of just shooting video for him and doing that stuff. And then it's asking. So most importantly, it's asking, hey, based on like what everything that I've told you, who is somebody that you think would be good to have a one-on-one with? I know I've said it multiple times, I feel like on here, but it is super important and it's what drives the business forward. One thing that I really like to do afterwards is take a picture with that person. I'll give you an example. So when I called my wife, told her about the meetings that we just had with those two individuals, and she paused for a little bit and she says, does it ever feel like you're dating again? I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, you got to build a relationship with them, intentional ask, follow up with them, keep the relationship strong, stay in touch with them, and it's like, hopefully they like you, blah, blah, blah. I go, that is a very good way to put it. I never would have put it that way before, but you're kind of dating these people. So you're able to build a relationship. So one thing that I like to do with them, I take a picture with them. That picture then will get posted on Facebook sometime. I have a separate folder on my phone with just social media content and it's pictures from one-on-ones. I don't post everything there because I'll do like 2 to 3 one-on-ones a day. I don't just want to post 2 to 3 one-on-ones right afterwards because I want to make it at least a couple days after we've had it or a couple weeks after as kind of a, hey, reminder, I'm still here. Here, let me tag you in this so that way you can think about it and maybe you had some different ideas. With you being removed from that conversation, you've had some time to think on it and then maybe something else pops up from there. So really, really good. I think that's important. Then we had a coaching call client. I do the content coaching and accountability. We had a kickoff meeting there. So it's just basically setting the baselines, doing some other stuff. So I need to add that into her folder now, which I think is really good to have separate folders for people when you're doing different jobs. So you have folders that you know more about like their business, more about their personalities, more about like what you've done in the past for them. We went and sent out the renewal contract for our big client last year. So fingers crossed, that one should go good. We had a little slight pricing increase, which I think you should have each time. So we're going to see how that goes with it. It was a very basic email. And then I'll be out there shooting here in 17 days. So they're going to have a little bit of time to think on it. If I don't hear back, then I can have that in-person conversation with them. So that way they have a heads up. So that way the conversation should flow a little bit better. We did hear back from our possible sponsorship with, don't know if I want to say their names, but we heard back from them. They had some issues with being on Mulligan Mike because of not selling product on every single golf course. So they didn't want to step on their competitors' toes in that nature, where we'd be advertising and basically sponsoring on that. So we're doing it more of like an after round gift basket type thing for them, which wasn't the best, but I think at the end of the day, it is a building block. They're really keen on being involved in the community events and being more of a sponsor on that one. So we'll address those as that one comes up. But right now, trying to focus on this because those aren't a for sure scheduled type thing yet. We're still getting cooperation from them. And then today, Friday. So how I like to do my Fridays, I will schedule some meetings on there. So I had a meeting this morning that we're actually moving to next Friday because I'm going to visit her networking group that she's the president of. And then we're going to meet afterwards. So mornings with Dylan. That'll be fun. But she seems great. She runs a chiropractic business. So it's right up my alley. So that should be a really good conversation. Should be kind of nice to see how she works in her environment, to get to know her a little bit better. And then I have a meeting with my accountant today. So that's always fun. Got to get that in, get everything prepped before tax season goes. By the time this one goes, actually, no, by the time this one goes, we'll still be doing tax season. So if you haven't done your taxes yet, do your taxes. I got April 15th to cut off. And then I like to do editing for Friday. So it's editing admin work, and I call it the EDA, editing admin work, and then delight. So I do all my admin work, which is including all of your mileage that you did, any of your sales. Make sure you got those updated. I got a couple new sales from this week, so I need to put in the CRM system so that way my pipeline is correct, and that way my income tracker is correct. I got all the new mileage that I need to do. We bought a couple new expenses, such as the mic that we're wearing here. So tell me about what the audio sounds like. I love it because it's super small. So this is very beneficial. I'm watching the little meter thing and it looks like it is spiking, but thankfully there's internal bit recording on this, 32-bit. So I should be able to draw that back quite a bit. I'm going to see how it handles my deep voice. Some of these do not handle my deep voice very well because it matches them together and has a hard time separating it in post. I'm going to see how it goes because I do talk kind of fast sometimes, so I just need to slow it down. So we got admin work, editing work. I have my BTS reels that I need to edit all those and then get those scheduled to shoot. And then I have some testimonials that I got recorded for my BTS stuff. I consider my testimonials still BTS. But I got some of those I need to go ahead and get edited as well. So I'm going to get that knocked out. And then delight. So on every Friday, I try to do something personally for me. A lot of times it is connecting with somebody from my past, a friend or something that I haven't reached out to for a while, or we haven't done anything. So I'm going to be having drinks today at 3, and then I got to go to the store and get some stuff. But that is Friday. May check in, may not check in. I'll probably check in to tell you how it's going, but it's Friday.